Okay, now are we ready?
Ready.
We're ready. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited. It is fall, yay! It's my favorite time of the year, and then spring, winter, and then summer. Summer's just too hot for me. I enjoy it, but oh my Lanta, I can't handle the heat. I'm not very good at that. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Cece Sunny. I am an independent writer and author. And I have my book, The Curse of Wrath. It is available on Amazon in both ebook, paperback, and hardback. I have something in the works for around December time, so I'll announce that later. In today's video, we are continuing the part 2 series of how to write a cult. And if you didn't watch the first video, go check it out. I'll link it up here. I'll try. I'm not electronically inclined. Oh, I just can't do that. But at the end of this video, at the very least, I will pin it up so you guys can see it. Or you can go back and watch that one first because it'll make more sense. The first thing on the list, now that you have everyone, all your followers together and in a group, a commune, and the biggest threat that you have is individual thoughts. So the number one list that you need to work on now that your group is all together and they're in a commune is you need to, number one, reform their minds, okay? There cannot be any independent thought except for what the cult leader or what your master wants from you. You are expecting something in return from him or her, whether that be enlightenment, eternal life. There's so many different things. As a cult leader, you promised them something and you made them believe that you are something special and unique and that you can and do offer that. You got to deliver, but the first thing you got to do is you got to be able to control their minds. Not everyone is as easy to brainwash or to fall to lies and your tactics as you wish and hope they were. The independent thoughts that you are going to have to curb within your commune and within your cult is they cannot question your authority. They cannot question what you say and who you might lock in a room. And they're like, why is this person locking this woman in this room? That is none of their business. Why are you questioning it? Why is it that I can't have sex with my wife, but you can, and you can have sex with all the other women and their husbands can't? And it's just these rules. Not only are the cult leaders testing how much will you follow them and allow them to get away with and do, but it is also a form of control, and they're really pushing the envelope to see how much you will allow them to do and to control, see who the troublemakers are, which ones are ones that are more prone to thinking for themselves and to question what you do, and those who are good sheep that follow and do as they're supposed to do. So one of the next best ways to start gaining control of the minds of your followers is number 2, you demand service. Yes. Like community, I'm sure everyone's done a bit of community service or service for your fellow man, and it is a wonderful, great thing. That's what's so hard about cults. They take the teachings of the Bible, they take the good services of people, kind acts, and they really warp it and twist it into their own means and desires and their selfish needs. And it makes me so mad because they taint it when they do this. And then the other hard thing too is, how do you know the difference between a religion and a cult? And I'll get into that at the end of the video. You are not going to allow your people to have any free time. Now that they're in a commune and you got them all together, you need to keep them busy and working hard. And of course this work is free. It's service to the greater cause that you're going to make a change and make this world a better place through your service. One of the best ways to control your followers' minds is also to control their actions and the way and the things that they do. And service and giving them jobs and work to do is one of the best ways. And not only that, you can give them specific jobs, like the really crummy, crappy jobs, the service really no one wants to do. Maybe it's to discipline some of the individual people who like to think for themselves. They need a little bit more time in the harder more unpleasant labor. And then the ones who actually get to serve the master, they get to serve him. And that kind of creates an elite group within that group of followers. Like, oh, that person spends so much time with the master. I'm so jealous. I need to work harder so I can get to that level and be in the service of the master as well. And so they try, even it becomes like a competition. They got to try harder to please the master and to do better in their work. And it is just another form of control and is so messed up. So during this service, this demand to service, you have all these followers, this massive group of people that have given all their earthly possessions, all their worldly stuff to you. So you got plenty of money. And if you don't, you ask for more. You ask for all of it and to go into your community, right? The community. Another way that you can gain control over the minds of your followers is number 3, force conformality. I had to look down for that word. It's tricky. So basically, you're going to take away their identity of what makes them special and who they are. No one is no longer an individual. You are all a sheep. You are all the same. You're going to change the way they dress. You are going to change their hairstyles or make them all the same. Shave all their heads. Do whatever. You're going to control their diet, perhaps, their sleep patterns. You're going to do all of these things. And it's just one more layer of control that you have over your people, and you erase individualism of who they are. And one of the best things that the cult following and the followers do is if you break the rules, whether it be your diet, the way you dress, or even you don't perform your services as well as you should, they will ostracize you from the group and almost kind of punish you. So it is like you're isolated, and it's a natural human instinct and need that we want to be around each other and to be in a group of some kind, unless you're an introvert and you really don't care and you like your free space. But that's a different thing. I mean, we all know introverts, right? So within the group, you have been controlling what they eat, what they wear, what they look like, and also demanding service. You are keeping them busy for long hours, hard work. You're not giving them much time to think, and it's not paid. There's not really any reward. The reward is getting to spend time with you, the master, which goes into number 4, and that is to control the information. So you're going, as a cult leader, you've kind of built a house of cards, and it's very fragile, your system, but it's working because you don't have to spill any bloodshed yet. And you're able to control people and manipulate their minds, but they don't know you're manipulating them yet. So, in controlling their information is a good example. Let's say you want a one-on-one session of meditation, and you're doing this meditation with the master. Of course, you might have to pay the master $100 or whatever to get this special time with him. And he's also may visit with you, find out how things are going on in your life, and all these other things. And what it does is it can kind of create mistrust among all the followers, because they can't be honest what their opinion is or what they think because of fear of them being reported back to the master from someone else. So they all just don't question, or they're like, everything's fine and dandy, it's okay. And really, it may not be that way. So you kind of hope the tattletale system and the feeling that your cult leader knows everything and he is all-knowing, or he controls the information of who he shares certain details with and who he doesn't. It's hard. People are still individuals and they have their own minds. They're going to do what they want. So what do you do when you have a person, one of your followers, who wants out? They want to quit, or they want to tattle and tell all your secrets. This is where it can get a little bit dirty. If you can make it long enough where none of your followers question you or questioning what you're doing, then you're doing pretty good as a cult leader. And if you're cautious and careful and you give them enough of what they're wanting, then you can continue your cult following for years and years. But usually that's not the case sometimes. Sometimes things go wrong. Maybe someone dies because they didn't get enough food because they're fasting for so long and they got malnutrition, and then they went on this excursion and they end up dying, or they pass away and you want to hide the body and it doesn't sit well with one of your followers, and your follower wants to go maybe to the police. In order to keep your house of cards from falling and all of your secrets being told to the world, sometimes what cult leaders will do is have to get their hands dirty. They have their select followers that are die-hard followers, and you might kill the person, you might beat him, you might really have a lot of control. Like you have people who watch over you as you do the most horrendous service jobs, and you are so miserable doing your service job, you don't want to do it anymore, that you'll change your mind and you'll come around to their thinking. You're like, you know what, I'm stuck here, and if I'm stuck here, I'm gonna make the best of it I can. I'm just gonna have to keep my mouth shut because I no longer want to have to, I don't know, sledgehammer rocks or something, like a horror, like for the farm. It's a horrible way of how they like break you down and manipulate and control you if they go that route and just don't kill you. So let's say that all of your secrets get out to the followers, to the big main group. Let's say you're supposed to not have sex at all, and it comes out that, oh, while everyone else has been following this rule, you have not. And then they begin to question and wonder, like, well, wait, you're not living up to the standards that you gave us. Why is it any different from you? And one of the best ways to distract your followers from maybe an oopsie secret getting out is to, number 5, raise the stakes. It's the end of the world, the apocalypse. It is so much easier to control people when they believe the imminent danger of the end of the world or their lives coming to an end becoming a reality. And most times when you pull out this card, they won't question you. They just want to know, how can I live? What can I do to make it to the next level or the next day? What do I need to do to prepare myself? There were these 2 cult leaders, and they believed that they were aliens. And they convinced a lot of people that they themselves were extraterrestrials. And unfortunately, through the years and the following, one of the cult members, or not members, one of the cult leaders ended up getting cancer and dying. Now, they were supposed to be extraterrestrials. They can't get cancer, right? Like, that's a human ailment. And they died. And it was so confusing. They weren't supposed to die. They're supposed to get translated and all of them be aliens and go into space and deep space. And so the leader had to lock himself away and really think hard about how to get out of this pickle, or what did it mean. And the idea that he came up with was, the body is a vessel and you have to give up your body and die in order to reincarnate or to be at the next level and to become an alien in outer space in the next dimension. And unfortunately, this convinced, I think it was 30-something people to commit suicide and end their lives. And it's not the only case of this happening in cults, where a lot of times the cult leaders, they feel like they might be losing grasp on their following and the good old days. And so they will rather commit mass suicide with everyone with them than to admit defeat. Now, as a cult leader, as long as your lies and your selfishness and your manipulation don't come out, and you're able to pull this off for years and years, one of the things that they love to do is, cult leaders are very much about themselves. They're narcissists. It's all me, me, me. They want a bigger following. That it's not enough for them sometimes. And this is where they can also get in trouble with the law and the government, because that's where they start to set their sights. They want to be a part of the government, more influential, and what goes on. The Red Niche, they literally made their own like city or town. Police officers, everyone was within this cult group and had so much control of it. And it was really, you should look up that one and study all that. Well, don't go too deep because there was free love and everything. Anyways, sometimes when these cult leaders, they want to go to the next level and to get to the government level and to be more popular, this also brings about their downfall because they might not be as well received as they hoped. Their ego and their selfishness, if they lose or don't get what they want, it can turn ugly, and they might even start becoming domestic terrorists and trying to kill people, poison people, because it's the end of the world and these people are all against them. It's their fault. And so you need to take them out. It is your duty and responsibility to make the world a better place that they need to go. Okay? It's their thinking is so warped. Now, if your leader is able to control his urges to become all powerful and everyone know who he is, one of the tactics that they love to do to grow their fellowship and their following is to, number 6, create the next generation. They start having children, lots of them. And it's so sad, but there's a reason why evil designs and purposes, they target the youth. They go after the youth. The younger, the better, because then they don't question what they've been taught at a young age. The young are so dependent on you for everything, to their daily needs, their food, their water, getting dressed, staying clean. And so what you teach them is also ingrained into their souls. And if they're not exposed to any other outside information, you only read the books that they allow, you only hear the teachings that they teach, you never have any outside knowledge or experiences come and to give you experience, to give you anything to compare your religion or your beliefs to. You create a very strong bond for the follower to have a much harder time to breaking free, live perhaps a different life, or leave you, because they have no one outside of their commune. They have no one outside their religion to be able to support and help them in the real world. It sets them back so far. And my heart goes out to these poor young children or people that get sucked into this sickness where they indoctrinate you with what they want to be taught, and not always a good thing. So that's the list. But in making this video, I was starting to make some reels, and it brought up an interesting question to me. And I love to use Canva to make my reels for Instagram and other things. And I put in cult and a search engine, and it came up with the typical cult things that you think of and more satanic. And then it also brought up a Christian religion that a lot of people view as a cult. And I disagree. And it's a very misunderstood religion. And then that brought up the thought, well, what qualifies as a cult versus a religion? Because the two can be so similar and the lines get blurred. Like, what is a cult and a religion to some people? And a good way to define what a cult is, I have a list, a little list. So in the search results of the Canva for cults, and they come up with the typical ones that are a little bit more dark and evil. And then surprisingly, there's these really beautiful, pristine, crisp pictures of the Book of Mormon. And I don't know how many people know of the Book of Mormon or have heard of it. The people who have the Book of Mormon within this church religion, they always call the people the Mormons. And unfortunately, that is actually a nickname that was given to this group of people when they were being persecuted by mobsters and driven from their homes and murdered. And then the name kind of stuck, and then it was the only way that sometimes we would be recognized for our religion, and some of the members would say, I'm a Mormon. And that's really not true. We don't believe, Mormon is not the head of our church. And I say our church because, yes, I am a member of this church, and it is called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So one of my friends from back east moved here, and it was kind of sad. She was really scared to meet us. She thought we sacrificed pigs in the temple and we worship the devil and all these horror stories of us. We're like, no, we're just Christians. We believe in Christ. in the Bible and all of that stuff. The first thing on the list is leaders. The leaders of the church or the religion, there's a distinct difference between how the messages that they give. And one of the big things that you notice is they believe themselves to be perfect or that they are special, and they are convincing you that they are special. And the religious leaders in my church, they never ever say that. They're not me. They are always pointing you back to Christ and to make it more religion, and they are selfless, whereas a cult leader is selfish. The cult leaders make you believe that they, the leader, are the only one that can give you what you want, to bring you to perfection, or that they're something better, and they put themselves on a pedestal. Whereas leaders of a church, whether it's my church or a different religion, they are more about service. How can you serve your fellow men? And they follow the teachings of the Bible, which is a religion, and it's more selfless. Another thing that cults do is they separate you from your family and your friends and any good influences in your life, and also worldly influences. And they don't want you to get any other information from outside sources. They want you in isolation. And that is so unhealthy. And one of the biggest things we believe in our religion is families are forever, and that we can be together. And they're vital. We love our families. And we are also taught, in my church anyways, the leaders encourage us to gain our own testimonies, to do the work, read our scriptures, read the Bible, and read about Christ's life, and decide for yourself whether you want to be a follower of Jesus and his laws. And his laws are there to help protect you and to bring you happiness and joy, whereas the strange laws and the things they ask you in cults are a little bit more damaging and making you conform and making you not be an individual. Whereas in our church, my church anyways, it is encouraged that you be an individual and find out what you believe and who you are, and to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and your own beliefs. Another red flag for a cult is when they take all of your possessions. Now, there's alms and there's giving to the poor and there's tithes, and that's great. It goes to such good causes, and they don't require you hand over everything of your life savings. It's a very big difference. And when you donate, it does so much good for the world. And I do believe in tithes and fast offerings and these things. But a cult, they want to take everything that you absolutely have. You lose a lot of freedom living on a commune, and you don't no longer almost have a voice, and you're not an individual. You are just one of the sheep working toward a goal. And another thing toward the end of cults, or what really is defining of cults, is that their actions, their principles, their beliefs, the practices that they do actually lead to physical, mental, and emotional damage. I mean, even if it's just a little bit, but it's to the point where law enforcement and the government should get involved because you are abusing these people. That is really a defining thing, because I don't believe any religion good enough for you should not be doing these things. And I do have to say that just because there's a few bad eggs, there's a few bad people that do get involved in these true religion and organizations, it doesn't define what the religion is, okay? More so, if the cult leader is instructing and the cult leader is telling you it's okay to do these things, it's okay to mutilate yourself, it is okay to beat, to harm, or just to damage yourself in any way, I would severely caution about that religion. Their methods, principles, and beliefs and their practices cause you physical, mental, and emotional damage. And for some of you who may believe or think that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a cult, I challenge you to go check out their website. And not only that, listen to the general authorities and the prophets speak. Notice how they just speak of love, and they understand you're not perfect. No one is perfect, but we're working have a better life and to be better as a people, and the love that they spread, and they're always reminding you of Christ. The Book of Mormon, if you are curious about it, it is simply another testament of Jesus Christ and his visit to the Americas, to another group of people, to different sheep that are not of this fold, as it says in the Bible. If you're just curious, go ahead. You can get a free Book of Mormon. I think I'll try to get the link down below. I'm not techie, but you can receive a free Book of Mormon for yourselves and check our religion out if you're curious at all. It's not a cult. There might be some wackos in there. There might be some die-hard Christian fans. They're very, very strict, but really you have all the freedom in the world to choose whether you want to follow, whether you don't want to, and what they teach is vastly different from what a cult teaches. Okay, I had to defend my religion just a wee smidge. Yay, fall. I am so excited it is fall. It is my favorite time of the year, and I'm going to do some more fun, different topics. I want to talk about monsters and fantasy. I'm a huge fantasy fan. I think it's my number one favorite thing to write about is fantasy and new worlds. You can follow me either here on YouTube or check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. I have all the links down below, and my book is available on Amazon and KU, and go ahead and check it out. Judge for yourself whether or not I'm your kind of author. I hope this video and the one previously has helped you get an insight and an idea of what a cult is. Now, where I got all of my source material from, if you are curious and would like to do a deeper dive into it and would love to implement this into your own story, is I actually got this from a documentary series that is in episodes, and it is available on Netflix, and it is How to Be a Tyrant, and it has a whole episode list of tyrants and different things and methods that they used. And the other one is How to Create a Cult, or How to Be a Cult. I think it's How to Create a Cult. Anyways, and it has all the listed episodes of different cult leaders and what they did within their cults that you can really study up on and figure out. I watched these videos to not only get inspiration, but maybe bring them to your attention and you had no idea that where to find this plethora of information. And I think it also, on Netflix, it has the Radnish cult and religion and some of the other ones that people, it's more touchy subject because some say it's a religion, others believe it's more of a cult. So, I don't know. You decide for yourselves. I laid it all out for you in my beliefs, in my opinion, and you will have a different one, and that is fine. That is okay. We love individualism. The Lord specifically made you special and different and unique to you, and he needed you in this time, and this time was meant for you to shine or to be who you are, okay? Who you truly are and who the Lord knows you can be. All right, I'm signing off. I will try very hard to be better about making my movies. Please forgive me if I miss a week. I'm sorry. I'll try hard. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.